Hey guys, what's up? This is Sellavin, and I was giving a latest review on Digimon Fusion Appli Monsters, episode 31. Now, this episode gave us so many wolf references, like it was basically giving us a call sign and an image of the future and what was going to happen, Anyway, let's get started. The main story focuses on, Karen, and she gets a reward from the management company of the singing group that she's on because of her hard work. She gets to go on a trip, and she wants to invite the others on the trip with her. There's supposed to be some kind of wonderful resort hotel. Now, it's a reward for all her hard work that she's been doing. However, it's being sabotaged, because this is just a trap, because she was planning a trip, the manager was going to plan the trip, it was supposed to be for her as a gift, but she wanted to invite her friends. However, because of that, things got complicated, and she used the traveling app, and the app got infected. It's called Tripmon. Tripmon is the app. He uses it and changes the course. He even says that a trip that you don't plan yourself isn't really a true trip. So he changes it from a lovely resort to this something called to Grunching Teeth Valley. Now I'll get into that in a minute. Everyone's excited about the trip. They're all getting ready. Hey, they're all goof around the train, eat their bunch. Hunters, like they're all going together as a group, I haven't seen a lot. I'm not seeing a lot of Ray. He is a member of the group of the team, but because of introducing Yuujin and the Appli Drive duo, they're focusing a lot on his character, leaving him for the background. And if he's in the series somewhere, he's probably most likely still looking for his little brother. Like, what happened to my little brother? What happened to him? So he's probably still looking for his little brother with him and Hackmon. And with their abilities, that's not a surprise. As things continue, they find out about the trip they're going to. Everybody starts to goof around, However, they find out that they're going to Great Teeth Valley, and then hear the story from this old woman. And this old woman tells them the story that there's a legend about filled with malice and the story of a wolf, Well, the story tells them, that the wolf, is full of malice and hate because she lost their cubs to some malicious hunter. Basically, she was a mother who had her children taken away from her by her haunts the place, It's pretty intense when you think about it, And this focuses a lot on the characters and the relationship, They all think it's just superstition. How the lady tries to sell them stuff, kind of like merchandising or whatever. They talk to them about it and stuff, It's just some strange superstition. They don't believe it. However, they're still cautious. Like, for example, Apple, there's there's Offmon. Offmon is just very suspicious and all that stuff, And they continue to get to see more signs of wolves. Like, for example, those three outer monkeys statues, about the three wise monkeys? See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. They have the versions of wolf versions of that, three wolves, something like that, four wolves like that. How Gachimon touch one of the wolf heads and it falls, There's plenty of wolf Easter eggs, You ever get to see that, like, this what you call a teeter-tottering relationship between Yuujin and Offmon, because saying that he prefers to be alone, that he's afraid of messing stuff up, But this time it's, like, even worse than he was before. He doesn't want to be near Yuujin, We get to see that there's also all kinds of challenges, like, for example, as they're trying to make their way to the resort, or, and they get to cross these challenges, like crossing to the river, there's rhyming things, these river bridges and all that stuff, Oh, it's pretty intense when you do, and you see it, It's pretty funny, actually, because this is not their fault. Like, tricked them into doing this. Like, how they go to the bridge, they go to this weird cavern, they even go to, like, this water, onto the river and all that stuff. It's funny, like, it's like kind of like an obstacle course of weird stuff, as they make their way through. And finally, they make their way to the resort, but only to find that it's really an inn, And we get to see these wolf themes, and I think it's the same old woman that gave them stuff, and tells them all that stuff, earlier on the train, It tries to sell them stuff, purification stuff, haunted ghosts and all that, It's just them, going on a trip, and it feels like they're at this haunted mansion because they got tricked, It's really a lie. Not a lie, it's just that they were all tricked into, going on this trip, and because, Tripmon got affected with the L virus, he sent it somewhere else, And he also thinks because Karen, didn't plan the trip herself. She wanted her manager to do it. She got confused. I don't know. She didn't deserve the trip. That's just the Appli. That's the L virus just taking advantage of their desire. We get to see that Kieran's manager is still waiting for her. These get even more weirded out as later as Offmon disappeared. He goes into the forest. He somehow managed to walk into an AR field. And it's and, he walks into the AR field and Sellavin is just there waiting for him. And he's off his own. He doesn't have Yuujin with him. And the kids use the 7 code band to try to follow him, try to find out where he is, Now that Sellavin keeps trying to shoot for him, they even managed to run into Tripmon, and they find out what he did, but they can't deal with Tripmon, And they gotta find a way to get to Offmon, because right now he's in grave danger, and they know that this is coming, and one after the other they all go ultimate, which is I think it's pretty too damn fast, That's I think it was just used to help the story along, because they still have that lame 1 minute time limit, which sucks, Not for them, they all go ultimate and they just beat him up right away. To me, like that doesn't seem like the right call, because they should have just went super instead of ultimate, because if they wouldn't have wasted their time, and would have, defeated him much easier together as a team. But that was just to help with the story. As Sellavin getting ready to shoot, they all managed to go in. They all take the hit, because he dropped up this pillar on it, because they're inside the AR field. There's these weird buildings, ancient ruins and stuff. He drops the pillar on them, and Yuujin managed to save them, and all the other Appli saved them. But because they used up their time limit and tried to defeat Tripmon and free him from the L virus, they weren't at full strength, at full capacity. They couldn't use their time right, and he still beat up Globomon like he did before. Still saying that he's number one. He also says that I'll be using my navigation powers to watch you all along and watch your movement. That means he's been spying on them this whole time, and he knew about Tripmon. That means he knew what they were doing with this Tripmon. He was been waiting for them, and all this long. And Offmon, he's just been. So what should I do? So being helpless. What I should do? I'm gonna do. And he just gives you this mad face, and he just changes form. He becomes an Applimon chip, and he goes, and he gives himself to Yuujin, and he goes ultimate app realized right there. He becomes an ultimate Appmon called Shotmon, If I were to describe him in a way, it's like he's like a wolf with swords, Kind of reminds me of the Garurumon series or Galgamon series. Like they were dogs, animals at first, but they become these wolf-like things, and later they become more warrior and more powerful, over the series. It's kind of like that, like Gargamon, was a dog thing, and he became a warrior, half animal. And the same with and with Garurumon, he became he evolved from Garurumon to Garurumon, and he evolved from Garurumon to Werewolfmon, which was a werewolf, but also a warrior because of his setup of high legs. And then later he became Metal Garurumon, which is an ultimate, and a mega, but only because he was a cyborg and he has ice powers, It's kind of like that, And he's so strong as Shutmon with his termination, but he's so strong that he sent Sellavin packing out of fear, and it doesn't look like he has that time limit. Could this be another side effect of the Appli Drive duo? Because they still don't know a lot about that, and none of the others still do. But that's just he said flying. Just as Sellavin on the way, and Yuujin tries to talk to Shutmon. He goes crazy. He just loses it, and loses his, he just goes crazy, and just starts attacking. It's obviously that he's new at this, and he doesn't know how to control his power properly. I mean, he went through just a drastic change, and all because he chose to feel an emotion other than fear. He just chose to, and this is all because of his anger. I've seen other versions of the series that other Digimon going crazy and losing control of themselves, like Digimon Frontier. And when Agumon became Werewolfmon, when Agumon became War Greymon, he lost his power and attacked his friends, And later, that was before that, Digimon Tamers, You know, when when you know when War Grandma became Digimon, you know, he went crazy. He became this horrible monster after Takato made him Digivolve because he lost Leomon because of his intense anger. And this is way back when. This next was all the way back to the original Digimon where Agumon, you know, Digivolve, where made him Digivolve to Skull Greymon because he put himself in hard danger. He became a horrible monster. That's Digi that described it. And something went wrong and it became in this horrible monster. He started attacking everybody and went nuts. Which is probably one of the worst mistakes they ever did. And that was good for the story because if they didn't control themselves, they could turn out exactly what they would become, a monster that couldn't be recognized or controlled. Anyway, this was a good episode. I hope you enjoyed the reference to the other Digimon series, like Frontier Tamers and the OG, Skull Greymon was definitely a ferocious and he made an appearance once again in, and in Digimon Season 2, with the new generations. I really enjoyed the series, and I really enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you think. No, this is Sellavin Allen's gave my latest review on the episode of Digimon Fusion, Appli. See you guys next time. I'm out. Bye.